Good afternoon everyone. Today in this video we are going to discuss few important bills which were presented in Parliament in the year 2024. The first bill which we are going to discuss is 129th Constitutional Amendment Bill, that is One Nation One Election Bill. Right? The purpose of this bill is to conduct elections simultaneously for Lok Sabha as well as all the state legislative assemblies. So this bill, the 129th Constitutional Amendment Bill, the key provisions of this bill, it inserts a new article to the Constitution, Article 82A. Article 82A. The purpose of insertion of Article 82A is to conduct elections simultaneously for Lok Sabha as well as state assemblies for the first time. What is written in Article 82A is, let's say the next Lok Sabha elections, they are due in the year 2029. The first sitting of 2029 Lok Sabha, it will be named as, that date will be named as appointment date. Right? The first sitting of new Lok Sabha of 2029 will be named as appointment date. The election after this will be held in the year 2034. Right? The Article 82A says that in 2034 elections will be held for Lok Sabha as well as state assemblies together, but the elections in state assemblies which will be happening after the appointment date, let's say in a state election happens in the year 2031, right? The tenure of this state assembly will only be up to 2034. It will not be having tenure of 5 years. It will only be up for 3 years up to the year 2034, so that in 2034 we can have elections for all the states as well as Lok Sabha together. I hope Article 82A is clear, that in order to conduct elections simultaneously for the first time in 2034, the states which will be having elections between 2029 to 2034, their tenure or the assembly's tenure will only be for remaining period till 2034. The next article which is going to be amended by this bill is Article 83. Article 83, if you know, Article 83 talks about the tenure of Lok Sabha. It says that if Lok Sabha is not dissolved, tenure of Lok Sabha is going to be of 5 years. The maximum tenure of Lok Sabha is of 5 years. Now, what if a Lok Sabha is dissolved? Let's say in 2034, elections are held simultaneously for Lok Sabha as well as all the states. Now, what if Lok Sabha is dissolved in 2035 itself? Hence, in this case, Article 83 has to be amended. As per the amended article, the remaining, now when the new elections will be done in 2035, the tenure of the new Lok Sabha will not be of 5 years, it will only be of 4 years till 2039, because we cannot break the cycle of simultaneous elections now. Similarly, if a state legislative assembly, it is dissolved in between 2034 to 2039, the new assembly will be having life only up for expiry term. Only for expiry term, meaning only up to 2039. That is what Article 83 and 172 are. Then the next article or the next amendment which is done is Union Territory Laws Amendment Bill 2024. In order to conduct elections simultaneously in UTs as well, right? This bill was needed to be brought. So you see, it will be amending the Union Territories Act 1963, the NCT of Delhi Act 1991, and Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019, because in Delhi and Jammu and Kashmir there is state legislative assembly as well. So these UTs along with Pondicherry, they have state legislative assemblies as well. So their state legislative assembly, their election has to be also be conducted along with Lok Sabha, and this Union Territory Act, it will be conducting simultaneously elections for Lok Sabha in UTs as well. So these are the major changes proposed by 129th Amendment Bill, which is right now only tabled in Lok Sabha. It has not been passed because it was brought or it was tabled only in winter session, in the month of December only. In the next session, it might be taken up by Lok Sabha. So I hope this bill is clear to you. So the next bill, which is very important, which was tabled in Lok Sabha in 2024, is Waqf Amendment Bill 2024. This bill, it was tabled in Lok Sabha in monsoon session. Now this bill, as the name suggests, it is an amendment bill. It is an amendment to the Waqf Act of 1995, right? So Waqf Act of 1995, which right now regulates Waqf properties, manages Waqf properties. This bill is getting amended by this bill. So the Act of 1995 is getting amended by the Bill of 2024. The Bill of 2024, it brings major changes to the Act of 1995. In this particular section, we are going to discuss what changes the Bill of 2024 is proposing, why there is so much of hue and cry about this particular bill. Before we discuss the changes proposed by this bill, we should first be knowing what is Waqf. So Waqf is basically a property donated by a Muslim for some religious or charitable purpose, right? So Waqf, it can only be donated by Muslim and for religious or charitable purpose. Once a Waqf property is donated, now it becomes, or it is donated in the name of God. It cannot be taken back, right? So once it is donated by somebody, you cannot take back this property. That is what Waqf means. Now I'll be discussing what changes the Act of in the Act of 1995 this bill is proposing. First is formation of Waqf. So the Act of 1995, it says that Waqf can be created by either by declaration or by recognition on the basis of long-term use. This kind of donation or this kind of formation of Waqf, it is called as Waqf by user. If a Waqf property is getting used, if a property is getting used for long, for religious or charitable purpose, it can also be considered as Waqf. And the third is endowment, when the line of succession ends. So if line of succession ends, in such case also, by endowment, the property can become Waqf property. Now, in these ways of formation of Waqf, some changes has been proposed by the new bill. Firstly, the bill says Waqf property can be donated only by a person who is practicing Islam for at least 5 years. This provision was not there in the earlier act. Second thing, it says it removes Waqf by user, right? Merely by using a property for long, it cannot be converted into Waqf property. Only when some legal documentation are there by the owner to donate that property as Waqf property, the property can become Waqf. Otherwise, only by use it will not become Waqf. So that is what the new bill says, right? It brings these two changes. It further says that endowment by when the line of succession ends, right? This can be done only when there is no heir left or nobody should be disinherit from that property, including female heirs, right? So till the time, even if a single heir is there, even if a female heir is there, you cannot convert a property into Waqf property, right? So this is the first change proposed by new bill. The second is about survey of Waqf. In the Act of 1995, there was a position of survey commissioner who used to, in every state, who used to survey the Waqf property, used to maintain the record of all the Waqf properties. Now this position, the bill of 2024, it removes this position. It says the district collector in every district will be surveying all the Waqf property. The third change which is proposed by the bill is regarding government property as Waqf property. So government claims a lot of government land has been converted into Waqf property. If such case comes up, if government property has been converted into Waqf property, government says such Waqf property will cease to end as Waqf. It will again become Waqf property, and if there is some uncertainty whether this property is government property or not, this dispute will be resolved by district collector. So district collector will be determining whether a property is Waqf property is government property or not. Next is about composition of Central Waqf Council. So at central level, there is a Waqf Council which is chaired by Union Minority Minister. Right. Apart from minister, there are various other members to the council. Now the Act of 1995 says that apart from chairperson, all members should be Muslim. So the other members, they can be member of parliament, they can be person of national eminence, retired Supreme Court judge or High Court judge, or eminent scholars in Muslim law. So the Act of 1995 says all these people should be Muslims only. But the Amendment Bill of 2024 says the bill removes requirement for MPs, former judges, eminent persons appointed by the council to be Muslim. These can be non-Muslims. That is one major change which the bill is proposing, that the other members of the council can be non-Muslims. In fact, it further mandates that at least 2 members should be non-Muslim. Right? At least 2 should be compulsorily non-Muslims. That is also one change. In the composition of Waqf board is the highest, authority related to Waqf in a state, right? In the composition of Waqf board also, the Act suggests some changes. The bill says that the bill says that at least 2 members should be non-Muslim members. Same as Waqf Council, even in Waqf board also, at least 2 members should be non-Muslims. At least 1 member should be each from Shia Muslim community, Sunni Muslim community, and backward classes of Muslims. Right? So these 2 changes. The bill further says there should be at least 2 members which should be women. So the biggest opposition to this bill is why non-Muslim members are being added to Waqf board as well as Waqf Council. The next change which the bill is proposing is the composition of tribunal, right? So the Act of 1995 says that if a dispute emerges related to Waqf property, the dispute will be resolved by a Waqf tribunal. The Waqf tribunal, as per the Act of 1995, consists of 3 members. One is a class 1 district or session judge or civil judge, right? So a class 1 judicial officer will be the chairperson. A state officer equal to additional district magistrate. State officer equal to additional district magistrate. He or she will also be member. And the third member is an expert in Muslim law. Right? So there will be the Waqf tribunal will be consisting of 3 members, 1 from judiciary, 1 from state services, 1 is an expert in Islamic law. The bill of 2024 says it has changed the composition in the sense the expert in Muslim law, this person has been removed from the tribunal. And one major change which is done regarding tribunal's power is that as per the Act of 1995, there can be no appeal done to the order of tribunal. But the bill of 2024 says that order of tribunal can be appealed into High Court. The bill omits the provision deeming finality of tribunal's decision. Right? So tribunal's decisions now are not final; they can be challenged in High Court. And that too, it has to be done within 90 days. So that is what the major changes proposed by Waqf Amendment Bill of 2024. So the next important bill which was tabled in Parliament in the year 2024 is Jammu and Kashmir Local Bodies Laws Amendment Bill 2024. So the bill, it tries to amend few laws which were passed by Jammu and Kashmir State Assembly earlier regarding local election. So the Act of Jammu and Kashmir Panchayati Act of 1989, the Jammu and Kashmir Municipal Act of 2000 and the Jammu and Kashmir Municipal Corporation Act of 2000. In these 3 acts, the new bill is trying to bring some changes. So the first change which the new bill is proposing is it is extending the reservation benefit to OBCs in local bodies in Jammu. So right now in Jammu and Kashmir, reservation is only available to SCs, STs and women and not to OBCs. The new bill suggests reservation to be extended to OBCs as well. The next change which the new bill is proposing is regarding the mandate of Election Commission. So right now the Election Commission of Jammu and Kashmir, it conducts election only for panchayats, Block Development Council and District Development Council. It does not conduct election for municipalities and municipal corporation. These elections right now in Jammu and Kashmir are conducted by Chief Electoral Officer. The new proposed bill, it is giving the power to conduct election even for municipalities and municipal corporations to State Election Commission. So the next change which is proposed by the bill is regarding terms and service of a state election commissioner. So as per the existing laws, the state election commissioner cannot take any job either in central government or state government after retirement. Right? The new bill, it removes such restriction from state election commissioner. Right? Secondly, the earlier laws also said that a state election commissioner, if he or she has worked earlier in government and getting some pension, right, his salary will be lessened by that pension amount. Again, this condition has also been removed by the new bill. So these are few changes done regarding the terms of service of a state election commissioner. The next change which is proposed by the bill is regarding removal of state election commissioner, right? So state election commissioner, as per existing law, can be removed by Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir. But the new bill says from now onwards the state election commissioner will be removed in the manner as of a High Court judge. So the removal of High Court judge, you all must be knowing, High Court judge can be removed only by President of India, that too when a motion is being passed by both the houses of parliament for such a removal, right? So now removal of state election commissioners of Jammu and Kashmir will also be done in the same manner of High Court judge. And lastly, the bill suggests for some changes regarding removal from the electoral roll. So as per the existing provisions, if a name has to be deleted from electoral roll, there are only two reasons for it. First, the person whose name has been already added is below the age of 18, or the person has been declared of unsound mind. The bill allows state election commission to provide additional grounds for removal of a person from electoral roll. So the bill gives power to state election commission that certain other grounds can also be added for removal of a person's name from the electoral roll. I hope this bill is also clear. So we have discussed three bills. We have discussed three major bills which were proposed, which were tabled in Parliament. None of them has been passed till now, but all three of them, they have major implications on our polity. Thank you so much.